I place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. Place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. Place my future in the hands of God. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'm Willie from the Ozarks, and we're ready for Lesson 194 in A Course in Miracles Workbook for Students. We're reading from the original edition here on Lesson 194, which is here Thursday, July the 13th of 2023. I place the future in the hands of God. Today's idea takes another step toward quick salvation. Quick salvation, and a giant stride it is indeed. So great the distance is that it encompasses, it sets you down just short of heaven, with the goal in sight and obstacles behind. Your foot has reached the lawns that welcome you to heaven's gate, the quiet place of peace where you await with certainty the final step of God. How far are we progressing now from earth? How close are we approaching to our goal? How short the journey still to be pursued? Accept today's idea and you have passed all anxiety. I place the future in the hands of God. Accept today's idea and you've passed all anxiety, all pits of hell, all blackness of depression, thoughts of sin, devastation brought about by guilt. Accept today's idea and you have released the world from all imprisonment by loosening the heavy chains that lock the door to freedom on it. You are saved, and your salvation thus becomes the gift you give the world because you have received. In no one instant is depression felt or pain experienced or loss perceived. Why? Because you've placed your hands in the love, you've placed your future in the loving hands of God. In no one instant is depression felt or pain experienced or loss perceived. In no one instant sorrow can be set upon a throne and worshipped faithfully. In no one instant can one even die. And so each instant given unto God in passing, with the next one given him already, is a time of your release from sadness, pain, and even death itself. God holds your future as he holds your past and present. They are one to him, and so they should be one to you. Yet in this world, the temporal progression still seems real. And so you are not asked to understand the lack of sequence really found in time. You are but asked to let the future go and place it in God's hands. And you will see by your experience that you have laid the past and present in his hands. And you will see by your experience that you have laid the past and present in his hands as well, because the past will punish you no more, and future dread will now be meaningless. Release the future, for the past is gone, and what is present, freed from its bequest of grief and misery, of pain and loss, becomes the instant in which time escapes the bondage of illusions, where it runs its pitiless, inevitable course. Then is each instant which was slave to time transformed into a holy instant, when the light that was kept hidden in God's Son is freed to bless the world. Now is he free, and all his glory shines upon a world made free with him. to share His holiness. If you can see the lesson for today as the deliverance it really is, you will not hesitate to give as much consistent effort as you can to make it be a part of you. Okay, here he's trying to increase our motivation to do our lesson today. Those 2 hourly, or the hourly remembrance, but then in the morning and in the evening, a longer period of 5, 10, 15 minutes. Whatever meets your deepest need, he said. So if you can see the lessons for today as the deliverance it really is, if you can see the lesson for today as the deliverance it really is, you will not hesitate to give as much consistent effort as you can to make it be a part of you. As it becomes a thought which rules your mind, a habit in your problem-solving repertoire, a way of quick reaction to temptation, you extend your learning to the world. And as you learn to see salvation in all things, so will the world perceive that it is saved. So we want to use this particular lesson in a way that he says it's, how did he start off the very first lesson? Today's idea takes another step towards quick salvation and a giant stride it is indeed. So, to have it close to your mind, this idea that I want to place my future in the hands of God. I think of it, I place my future in the loving hands of God. I don't have to worry. The power that rules the universe loves me and is going to care for me. As it becomes a thought which rules your mind, a habit in your problem-solving repertoire, a way of quick reaction to temptation, you extend your learning to the world. And as you learn to see salvation in all things, so will the world perceive that it is saved. What worry can beset the one who gives his future to the loving hands of God? What can he suffer? What can cause him pain or bring experience of loss to him? What can he fear? And what can he regard except with love? For he who has escaped all fear of future pain has found his way to present peace, and certainty of care the world can never threaten. He is sure that his perception may be faulty, but will never lack correction. We still got mistakes, we can be sure of that, but we also know we have one who will correct our erring sight. He is sure that his perception may be faulty, but will never lack correction. He is free to choose again when he has been deceived, to change his mind when he has made mistakes. Place then your future in the hands of God, for thus you call the memory of him to come again, replacing all your thoughts of sin and evil with the truth of love. Think you the world could fail to gain thereby, and every living creature not respond with healed perception? Who entrusts himself to God has also placed the world within the hands to which he has himself appealed for comfort and security. Who entrusts himself to God has also placed the world within the hands to which he has himself appealed for comfort and security. He lays aside the sick illusions of the world along with his, and offers peace to both. Now are we saved indeed, for in God's hands we rest untroubled, sure that only good can come to us. If we forget, we will be gently reassured. If we accept an unforgiving thought, it will be soon replaced by love's reflection. And if we are tempted to attack, we will appeal to him who guards our rest to make the choice for us that leaves temptation far behind. No longer is the world our enemy, for we have chosen that we be its friend, or that we be its friends. No longer is the world our enemy, for we have chosen that we be its friends. I place my future in the loving hands of God, or I place the future in the hands of God. You can personalize it I personalize a little bit. I place the future in the hands of God. I place my future in the loving hands of God. But get the idea. You're placing your future in God's care. How's it saying there? And I think it's in 2 Peter chapter 3. Cast your cares upon him, for he careth for you. Well, that's what we're learning to do by saying this and really meaning it and feeling it and living it and using it. I place the future in the hands of God. Okay, well, let's go take a look in our text reading for today. We're in chapter 19, Beyond the Veil. We're in it's a kind of a long section, the obstacles to peace, section 5, and we are now in section D, which is the fourth obstacle, the fear of God, and we are in the middle of the section called the lifting of the veil that began on paragraph 97. We made it to paragraph 104. So let's just read that paragraph again, 104. We'll just start there here in a moment. While you're turning there, what on earth is going on today? Well, it's Barbershop Music Appreciation Day, Beans and Franks Day, Embrace Your Geekness Day, Fool's Paradise Day, Go West Day. Go West, young man. Gruntled Workers Day. Well, learn to place your future in the hands of a loving God and you won't be gruntled, huh? International Rock Day. Nathan Bradford Forrest Day. National Beef Tallow Day. National French Fries Day. National Nitrogen Ice Cream Day. And World Cup Soccer Day. And I dug up a bunch of Kennebecks right here in this little circle behind me yesterday. I'm digging up my potatoes and planting, what you can plant now. There's quite a few things, and we'll talk about that over the next few days. But I plan on planting some bush beans on this particular circle. And let me tell you about bush beans from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. And the variety that I want to grow is the Contender, and the variety it's a Contender bean. That's the cultivar, but evidently someone named Buff Valentine perhaps grew it for quite a while, and it got that name also. But it's the Contender bean. Buff Valentine is the one that they're offering in Baker Creek, and it says it's a bush bean, 50 days, so only 50 days to maturity. So it's easy. We're here in the middle of July, so you got all of August and all of September. So there's 60 days right there. So we have plenty of time to get you a nice big crop of Contender bush beans, and they'll keep producing as you pick them. A superb bush bean with huge yields of excellent quality pods, earlier than most others, so it's a quick one basically. And it was developed by the U.S. Vegetable Laboratory in Charleston, South Carolina in 1949. It's the Phaseolus, that's your genus of beans, Phaseolus vulgaris. Vulgaris is its species name. Okay, let's go take a look now at our text reading. As I said, let's start in paragraph 103 in chapter 19. There is no grace of heaven that you cannot offer to each other and receive from your most holy friend. Let him withhold it not, for by receiving it you offer it to him. For he will receive of you what you received of him. Redemption has been given you to give each other, and thus receive it. Whom you forgive is free, and what you give you share. Forgive the sins your brother thinks he has committed, and all the guilt you think you see in him. Wow, even though he might see that he's sinned, your job is to see him as innocent. Forgive the sins your brother thinks he has committed, and all the guilt you think you see in him. 105. Here is the holy place of resurrection, to which we come again, to which we will return until redemption is accomplished and received. Think who your brother is before you would condemn him, and offer thanks to God that he is holy and has been given the gift of holiness for you. Join him in gladness and remove all trace of guilt from his disturbed and tortured mind. Help him to lift the heavy burden of sin you laid upon him, and he accepted as his own, and toss it lightly and with happy laughter away from him. Press it not like thorns against his brow, nor nail him to it unredeemed and hopeless. 106. Give each other faith, for faith and hope and mercy are yours to give. Into the hands that give, the gift is given. Look on your brother and see in him the gift of God you would receive. It is almost Easter, the time of resurrection. Let us give redemption to each other and share in it, that we may rise as one in resurrection and not separate in death. Behold the gift of freedom that I gave the Holy Spirit for both of you. And be you free together as you offer to the Holy Spirit this same gift, and giving it, receive it of him in return for what you gave. He leadeth you and me together, that we might meet here in the holy place and make the same decision. 107. Free your brother here in the holy place. Make it holy by freeing your brother, seeing them as holy. Free your brother here as I freed you. Jesus saw us as holy, innocent. He saw us as innocent. And he wants us to see our brothers as innocent. He wants us to extend the same thought that he sent to us. But we're to send it forth now, to see the innocence of each other, to be in the kingdom of heaven. Free your brothers here as I freed you. Give him the self-same gift, nor look upon him with condemnation of any kind. See him as guiltless as I look on you, and overlook the sins he thinks he sees within himself. Offer each other freedom and complete release from sin, here in the garden of seeming agony and death. So will we prepare together the way unto the resurrection of God's Son, and let him rise again to glad remembrance of the Father, who knows no sin, no death, but only life eternal. Together we will disappear into the presence beyond the veil, not to be lost but found, not to be seen but known. Knowing, nothing in the plan God has established for salvation will be left undone. This is the journey's purpose, without which is the journey meaningless. Here is the peace of God, given to you eternally by him. Here is the rest and quiet that you seek, the reason for the journey from its beginning. Here is the peace of God, given to you eternally by him. Here is the rest and quiet that you seek, the reason for the journey from its beginning. Heaven is the gift you owe each other, the debt of gratitude you offer to the Son of God in thanks for what he is and what his Father created him to be. Think carefully how you would look upon the giver of this gift. For as you look on him, so will the gift itself appear to be. Let's read that again. Think carefully how you would look upon the giver of this gift. For as you look on him, so will the gift itself appear to be. As he is seen as either the giver of guilt or of salvation, so will his offering be seen and so received. The crucified give pain because they are in pain, but the redeemed give joy because they have been healed of pain. Everyone gives as he receives, but he must choose what it will be that he receives, and he will recognize his choice by what he gives. and what is given him, nor is it given anything in hell or heaven to interfere with his decision. In the last paragraph, 110, you came this far because the journey was your choice, and no one undertakes to do what he believes is meaningless. What you had faith in still is faithful and watches over you in faith so gentle, yet so strong, that it would lift you far beyond the veil and place the Son of God safely within the sure protection of his Father. Here is the only purpose that gives this world and the long journey through this world whatever meaning lies in them. Let's listen to that again. I'm back up 2 sentences. Or let's just start at the beginning of the last paragraph once again. You came this far because the journey was your choice, and no one undertakes to do what he believes is meaningless. What you had faith in still is faithful and watches over you in faith so gentle, yet so strong, that it would lift you far beyond the veil and place the Son of God safely within the sure protection of his Father. Here is the only purpose that gives this world and the long journey through this world whatever meaning lies in them. Beyond this, they are meaningless. You stand together. Still without conviction, they have a purpose. Yet it is given you to see this purpose in your holy friend and recognize it as your own. Okay, well, I think we're... Well, hi, how are you today? Would you like to... He's having a lot of fun playing. He said, I've got a coon dog mix. I think he's half Labrador and half coon dog, and then I've got a coon. Okay, that's hopefully we can... He gets a little frisky, and hopefully he doesn't knock over my camera. Okay, that's come here. Let's see. Come here. You need to come over here, and why don't you just maybe you just hang out here for a minute. No, those are beans. I'm getting ready to plant. Oh, these are my beans, and he's deciding he wants to play with them. I place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. Place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God. Place my future in the hands of God. Place my future in the hands of God. Just keep singing that throughout the day. And I'm going to get my beans back. So today, thank you all so much for joining me. And this is Zorro. Let's see if Zorro, say hi to everybody. Why don't you calm down? Let me just hold you for a minute. Anyway, Zorro's quite a character. In the morning, he's pretty rowdy. As the day progresses, he just kind of sits and lets me hold him. Jessica's the one that takes care of him the most. She fed him a bottle when he was too young. Had his eye, didn't even have his eyes open when we found him, and decided we'd just kind of feed him. Left the window, like I said, I left the window open in the house. We had a log leaning up against the inside now, so he can come and go as he wants. He doesn't cause too much trouble yet. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining me out here in my garden as I'm getting ready to plant some Contender beans where I dug up my Kennebec sweet potatoes on this hill. And until tomorrow, tell yourself often, really feel it. Place your future in the loving hands of God. I place my future in the hands of God.